Yo, welcome to Team Radd Titan, and today we're going to be reviewing the Xmen Studios omegared. This is recent release. We're going to be going over everything, showing you the switch outs, weighing it, measuring it, all that jazz, so stay tuned, yeah?
Boom. Alright everyone, we're back. As Gio was saying, we are looking at the Xmen Studios omegared. We're going to go over all the pieces that come with him, switch out displays, nameplate, poster. We're going to measure, weigh him, all that business. So the scales are making a guest appearance today. Been away for a while.
I have indeed, yes.
Mister. Yeah.
So let's get on to a little bit of character history. We have a live studio audience today. We're joined by Mad Mike Wells. Tracksuit wearing Johnny Medins. He's wearing jeans today, man. I feel like we're going out on a date, you know. And then we've got the Mr. Silent, Mr. Fusco.
He's got jeggings on, hasn't he?
He's got jeggings on, yeah. He's made an effort and he's turned them up at the bottom. Look at that, fancy like French. Anyway, so we're going to be hearing what everybody has to say and what they think about this piece at some point. Let's start off with a little bit of character history. So omegared makes his first appearance in Xmen Volume 2. I think it's number 4. I just actually had this comic graded and got a 9.8.
Is it volume 3?
It's volume 2, and I believe it's number 4.
It's number 4, yeah.
Thank
I
you.
know it's number 4, but I didn't.
See, I get QC'd all the time. It's not, my words is not good enough.
Oh yeah, it's that one.
Yeah, what number do you have?
9.6.
Ah, that's all right. That's pretty good.
Well, what I should have done was I should have gone, Gio, man, you got 9.6, awesome, and then fucking switched them over.
You're not dishonest. Sneaky, but not dishonest.
No,
anyway, so so he's basically, what's his name? Like Arcady. It's Arcady, isn't it? And then he's got a crazy.
There you go. That just says it there.
Yeah. So
I'll
like
let you butcher it.
Yeah, let me do it. Yeah, it is Arcady Rosevich. I think he's got another name as well, actually. It's 3 names. So Arcady Rosevich, something else as well. But yeah, he's like the sort of the Russian super soldier, very much like a sort of Captain America ripoff, just badass sort of character. Pretty much known for being sort of a Wolverine villain more than anything else. Some of the most amazing omegared covers have him sort of fighting with Wolverine.
His appearance was also one of the best in the old cartoon as well, wasn't it?
Wolverine, you know this madman?
I tangled with omegared before either of you were born. The Soviets created him. Red's got his own plans for this country, and worst of all, nothing hurts him.
You defeated him?
Slowed him down. And I got lucky.
Yeah, he's pretty good in the cartoon too. He's very good.
Yeah, really. Awesome.
So yeah, he's sort of like cold as ice assassin. Very powerful, massive. And then he has these crazy. You say something like that. Tendrils, or things like that.
They're actually they're not made of like adamantium or anything like that. They're actually made of chromium.
Yes.
So yeah.
Yes.
That's me.
And
done.
they drain.
That's me done now.
They drain people, don't they? They can drain people's power, and they can electrocute and drain you. They can do all sorts of bits.
Shock them, but I didn't.
They can shock them, and they can drain them as well. So he's pretty cool. He's a badass guy. So I'm actually a big omegared fan. I had the Bowen Designs one a very long time ago.
Looked like a bit of a camp rock star though, didn't he?
He did look like. He had chick legs.
He looked like that. Yeah. He did look like he was out of the comic, which Bowen does amazingly.
Yeah.
But sometimes in statue form, it doesn't translate as well. And he looked like a camp rock star. And
he's like lunging in with chick legs.
So this comes with. First of all, this comes with like how you get it in the box, and also
love this. By the way,
on the back of this, it comes with the code, so that you basically scan this, and it will take you to the assembly videos on YouTube. It'll take you to the playlist. And I know I work for XM, but I have to say,
Judas.
Sorry,
did I say that?
With the actual instruction manuals, nearly every single one I used, I always found problems with actually using the instruction manual rather than not. So for me, the actual video is a much better way to go.
And also, but that's also to do with how you learn.
Exactly.
So you're obviously more of a sort of a practical and visual learner as opposed to written instructions. Well, I can't do written instructions either.
I also found though on the instructions, for example, on Magneto, for example, that's one of them, where it would basically say, do A, B, C, and then you get to D and you're like, yeah, I've got to take off B and go back.
And I've got to take off A and B and then start.
And I found that quite a lot with some of them.
Yeah, it's quite frustrating.
I do find that having the visual in front of me going, click, okay, click, is much better.
Yeah,
so you also then get the print, which is the closed mouth, head and the ponytail, which is kind of
more classic,
iconic.
more sort of what you associate with Omega Red.
George is complaining about the tendrils being blurred, but for me that is not a problem because for me that's motion blur. The tendrils are whispering
Why do you
around.
have to be? It's a print. Why does it have to be so clever? You don't need it to look like someone's taken his picture and he's moved at the wrong time.
Well,
it's ideal for it just to be a nice clear print. Don't need all this nonsense going on.
I don't agree. I mean, I actually think this is one of the nicer prints. I actually think the character's clear. You can actually see him.
Character's
made
pretty
out.
clear.
One of the issues I do find is a lot of the pieces I have, the actual images are too dark.
Yeah,
the
can
contrast
be.
is too down. And this one is actually a really, really nice one to display, I have to say.
This is actually Mike Wells's piece, and he, lucky enough, he got the nameplate, which I believe 50% of the edition size got.
30.
What's that?
30%.
30%. Wow, even good. I'm glad you're here. And what is the number of this piece?
I don't know. It's on the
the-
nameplate.
Yeah, I don't believe it does.
It would do.
No, it doesn't.
Show me.
100% says limited
really?
edition Omega Red. Doesn't have the number on it at all.
Oh, that's...
Huh?
75
75 what?
is the number.
No, this is no. What is the edition size number?
350 I thought it was.
It's quite low, yeah.
Yeah, three. So there are only 350 of these pieces in the world, which
That's actually, sorry, that's the first one
doesn't have
where
it.
it doesn't have because...
The actual number of the...
I don't know, you can't see off camera, but I have the whole set here. One of the benefits of having the job at XM. And every single one of them has the edition size, and then underneath it will say then the name of, number of plaques that are produced.
Yeah.
And this is the first one where that isn't on there. So yeah, okay. Don't know if that's a good or a bad thing.
Depends.
Quite
on
like
your,
it,
it. I would. Probably,
I think the issue...
I would prefer to have the information.
I do think the issue was that people were misinterpreting it.
yeah.
No, misinterpreting. And what they were doing was they were going, this doesn't make any sense. And they were looking at the... There you go. So like Dr. Octopus, and they were going, well, this is 600 edition size, and then it's got 180 underneath, but my one's number 75. That makes no sense. And they were kind of interpreting it as in the number at the bottom actually meant the number their statue is.
Well, never underestimate the stupidity of people.
Yeah. Even though it says in clear statue 600, card 180.
Yeah.
They thought they were numbered. So
yeah, accordingly. That's always been the same. When you've got coins and things from XM back in the day, they would say things like, oh, so like 50% or 30% have the first 50% would have them, and then you'd get a number. Your number would be on a box, and it would say, let's say there's 1,000. You'd be like 750, and you'd be like, fuck, I didn't get a coin. And then you'd open it and you'd have one. Because they were completely the numbers are randomized. It didn't matter that you had 750 and they only went to the first 450 orders or whatever it was. So there's no rhyme or reason in that regard, and that's continued. With this piece, with the prototype itself, there was actually 2 portraits, which you do get with this piece still, and there were 2 additional switch out arms, which had their palms the other way around. So. And what happened is the actual casting, the expense of making this piece, and obviously with an edition size that small, they actually probably making a loss. Truth be told, with an edition size that small, they're probably either, if they're breaking even, I'd be very surprised because it's very, very low.
Well, one of the things that people kind of don't consider when they're looking into the costings is licensing is very, very expensive, but also to attend conventions. To attend New York Comic Con, things like that. I know that's not a place where we show Marvel, but to attend those conventions costs a lot of money, like real lot of money. So all the costs of the conventions, the gallery displays, and all these things are also added in, unfortunately, to the cost of statues,
that's
staff
business.
costs, everything.
But if you're just talking about the basic production costs, these chromium tendrils that he has, to make them the way that they are a very expensive process. So they're incredibly durable. They're probably used metal cast to make these, right?
They would use like a steel milled cast.
Yes,
and
which
then
is
it would
very,
be,
they're tens of thousands of pounds to make, so it's
very
very
made out of
expensive.
then like a PU.
Yeah, so you want, when you're doing things like that, you want really to be making 10,000. You don't want to be making 300 because then it's very expensive to mill it and to make it. Just basic process. So
one of the good things about using the milled out casts is if you were to make an edition size of 10,000, you could reuse the same cast 10,000 times.
It's clean.
Because it doesn't lose any detail.
No.
When you cast statues and other things, you can only use the sort of silicone molds like 20, 25 times depending on the detail of the piece.
Yeah, if it's really detailed, even less.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
then,
yeah.
like we're saying, back on point of what I'm trying to say is that there was an additional arm portraits for both of them. So you will see prototype pictures and maybe even prototype reviews at cons where it's a different pose to this piece. The reason for that being is it was changed because, not changed, but things were removed slightly because of costs. With the edition size being what it was, it wasn't possible to make 4 sets of arms. It would just be too expensive to
Well,
make.
you imagine with the extra arms how big the box would be.
Well, there's that too.
The box is massive.
The box is really big.
Yeah.
It's almost like a small coffin. So you get the piece. The base comes. Check out our unboxing video, by the way, if you haven't. But that was a lot of fun. The base basically comes in all sort of stagnated places. So it's not just one solid base comes out like that. You have elements and again, excellent engineering from XM Studios, which is their strongest, I always believe, is their strongest asset to them, and what makes them probably the most original is the fact that their engineering is always very, very good. And you can literally, it all comes in different parts. You have to put it back in certain orders and then manipulate it and get it the way that it's meant to be. But the base itself, you might as well put the spin on.
Mike, do you want to see on camera, basically, if we turn this on, I just wanted to make sure, can you move this over just so it's more centered? No.
Yeah, I can. I'm just doing it slowly, but I'm just trying to do it slowly. It's heavy to move from the base.
It's also just when we turn it, so if I turn it quickly, does that all stay on camera?
Yeah.
All right.
Better, Mike. Otherwise, you're going to get a slap.
Well, not by me, but
Oh no, Andy's going to slap him. I'm not slapping him.
mine.
It was right at the top, please.
Yeah. So
There you go. Was that OCD bothering you? Which way
I
round it
don't like it when it turns out. It does bother me. I don't know why.
has to turn towards you, doesn't it?
Has
You
to
ego
turn-
maniac.
No, it's like it has to go clockwise.
Okay.
So we have a little spin around. So as George was saying, I mean the base. We start off on the base, and it's got heavily sort of all these details of this kind of machine. Not quite sure what it is. Could be.
It's a cryo
Yeah,
chamber where he's broken out of. It's pretty much where it's a link to his origin story. Hence all the pipes and sort of the the what do they call those?
You're juggling.
What is it where you basically they're like metal rings and you spin them and let water in or gas in or whatever and then take them out. I don't even like this thing. Like this thing on the back here.
Oh.
It's like
It's just like
yeah,
valve,
but are they?
There's a
The
valve.
wheels that
Yeah,
you
yeah.
sort of. So it's basically like that's what
There's
it
a
is.
valve.
It's linked.
and then there's like a pressure gauge.
Yeah, pressure gauge, and so this is the cryo chamber, which I think
that's
he's
right,
pretty much either busted out of because they leave. He's a sleeper agent, isn't he? So they leave him asleep.
Yeah, yeah.
Like a little bit like
like
Winter
stasis.
Soldier, and they pull him out, and he starts causing havoc.
Yeah, so we start off low again. I mean, as we go back, you've got the great detail of the nuts and the bolts and all the kind of bolts there where he's kind of like, he's either pushed that off or it's come off in some kind of battle.
That's it. He's
I think
leaning,
he's
yeah,
like,
he's
leaning
like pushing,
and
yeah,
because
exactly.
he's so heavy, he's kind of
Exactly,
kicked it away.
yeah, exactly
So you've got it all ripping up here. You've got the cable coming out, the armoured cable, and that looks really great. The weathering's fantastic. The kind of way this is all the panels are done really, really well. Going back lower, the one weak point on this is the snow. I
It's
think
not as Sabertooth premium format weak, but it is.
I think a lot
it's
of-
clumpy sculpt. It's still brilliant white though. It's still when it's under
Yeah,
a light
yeah.
and stuff. It looks
yeah.
like snow, which is better than when it looks like some sloppy grey, piss-stained rubbish. This is much better, sort
I
of
think it's,
contrasting colour.
I think it's quite hard to kind of get that kind of texture, and
Need
there
the
is
texture on
a
it,
way
it
of doing.
doesn't.
I know Tim took a spare base he had and he used this kind of
Powder.
snow powder thing, and it was really, really good. And that would just push this up a little bit more. It's not a deal breaker, but it's something that, if you want to point out what can be improved on, that's one of them. One of the things that you would have seen at cons is the pipes. At the cons, they were like more like the pipe over there with the arm around it, and then it had like icicles hanging down, and the icicles were pretty dire. I'm really, really happy that XM decided to go listen and basically make these pipes, which have almost, I think it looks like a plastic pipe, and then what they've done is they've like pumped the
Filled it.
silicon in it, and then
filled
they've
it
let
with
the silicon as it's going
Discolour.
curing. It's kind of discoloured a little, but it's also got bubbles in there. So I think that is a really, really nice effect, and I think that is a huge, huge improvement from the prototype.
no shortening either. We heard sometimes someone saying, I can't remember who it was, that they're quite short or they only just reach. It's a load of crap. They fit absolutely fine. They go as far as they're meant to go. There's nothing loose. There's nothing that's coming out. There's nothing that's too short. Everything fits.
There is a part, like maybe if they were trying to put this back one here into the wrong one.
Yeah, if you do the
then
wrong
that's
one.
too short.
Definitely.
And then trying to put that into there, crossing over.
Yeah.
Then you're going to have issues, but not huge
because
issues.
it's wrong.
But and also this pipe here, the armored one, is like a flexi pipe. Obviously, you can't bend
It feels very heavy, and it does feel like
Mm.
it's solid. So you probably would handle it and go, "Oh my god, this doesn't reach."
Yeah.
But it does move. It's amazing. It actually it does
it's
move.
really
It's
good
quite
material.
it's quite pliable, really
almost,
pliable. In fact.
almost like what you have in a shower cable.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah, but it feels very dense. Dense. Pepper, pepper. Yeah. So yeah, I
Talking to
mean,
Johnny too much.
yeah. The downsides as well are this sort of remnants of snow that's sort of on the thing here. Again,
You would prefer like a powder, like would you?
I would, exactly like that. So
Yeah.
it looks a little bit clumpy and it looks a little bit
I see.
like they ran out of an idea. Like it was just like put a bit there, just put a bit there. It's either better to do nothing or to do like a powdered sort of snow or frost effect on it and just leave it like that.
I think a powdered effect would again,
do the job.
I mean, even if you could, I mean, the thing that our team had, if you had, it's literally, it must be like from War Games or something like that.
Yeah.
So like Warhammer.
Yeah.
And literally you just put the glue on and then just sprinkle the powder on top, and that would take this to the next level.
It would massively.
Even like,
lift it.
especially these, as you say,
Yeah, it's the weak part of this piece really for me is just, but they're so minimal. It's like I say, it's minimal and it's
clutching,
not the
really,
worst example of snow I've seen. Sadly, I own much worse examples.
Oh, hello. That's my reminder. Cheers, Mike.
Is it yours?
Yeah, that's
You're
my reminder.
fucking
We're
fired.
meant to be going live now.
We're nowhere near each other base.
Yeah. All right, and as we move up, the body's great. Head's
great, bye-bye!
Let's go live. So yeah, and then you move up to the figure, and when I saw this prototype level, I did see this a lot. But I saw this when I was in like Singapore and Thailand, everywhere, and then basically the pose of this I found really awkward, and I don't know whether it's been adjusted slightly or whether the prototype was kind of, do you know when they haven't engineered it and it slightly leans a certain way, but seeing this now in person again in front of me as a production piece, it seems better. It seems a lot better the way it's posed.
The figure's fucking mind blowing. It's mind blowing, the figure. I absolutely love it. I'm devastated. Not only did I have the chance to get a pre-order of this for myself and didn't, not only did Mike wobble and like offer it to me to take it off him and I didn't. I mean, I need to go into the back and slap myself at least 3 times.
I'll give you 4.
Right. Listen, if I wanted a slap from a woman, I'd go get a woman to do it. Right? So I should really deal with myself because I should have grabbed this. I am absolutely devastated that I did not jump on this because this is right up my street. I also have seen the prototype, and I think what happens sometimes as well, if you see something a lot, you know, and then there's other new things coming, and that piece that you've seen like 6 times, and now you've seen it for the 7th, but oh wait a minute, Cyclops is the first time I've seen that, and oh, Transformation Hulk is the first time I've seen that. Yeah. You sort of just gloss past it. You sort of just be like, okay, and you move away from it.
Well, you would have seen it in London, wouldn't you?
I have, yeah.
London Con. But the thing about London Con is what you've got to remember is you were like fucking like adamant that you wanted to see Hulk transformation, and that was your brain. Your brain was on the Hulk
it was only
transformation.
there. It was only
so
there.
Then seeing this would just be like, oh yeah, right, fucking Hulk.
But it was the figure itself is massive. I mean, he must be somewhere in the region of about 23 to 24 inches, just the figure alone. He's a very big, massive statue. For people that like are fans of the figure being the focal point, this has all of those ticks for you, because although it has quite a complex base with a lot of different textures, a lot of different paint apps, and a lot of different things. You've got rubber pipes, you've got metal pipes, you've got sort of like flaps here and wheels there, and you know, all of these things going on. The figure is so menacing and huge that it literally you almost see past the base, which is quite a decent thing to be able to do.
I think that's actually a good point. I mean, I do think that all the conversation about this piece is always about the figure, about the tendrils, about his face and whatever else. And as you say, from the size of the figure, he kind of overshadows the base. So people never really talked about the base. They
Yeah.
haven't really spoken about
I
it
mean,
yet.
it's genius in its. I mean, I agree with Alex. There's a pose thing here with this piece, which as we're spinning it, right, as it's moving around, you're going to see angles of this piece that look awkward to you because it has that. Because the weight on this back foot is almost going angled, and then his weight on his left foot, and then the way his hips are positioned, and the way that his body is open and out. There is an element of sort of like being fight ready and sort of almost theatrical in the pose, the top
I was going
part
to
of
say,
it.
like, what's he doing at that moment then?
Yeah, I think he's getting ready to have a
Well, he's
punch
kind of
up.
like, this leg's going to be lifted, go back, and he's going to swipe.
Maybe, or maybe he's just opening his body like, come, let's go. It might be a bit of that, but it has an element as it moves around where you're like, I'm not sure about this angle. I'm not sure about this angle. But what it does, which I love, is that when it gets to the angle that I want, that I will display it in, it blows my head off. I just look at it because it's coming up right now. Every time it's been spinning in my mind, as it gets to the point that I love it, I'm like, fuck, I should have bought it. Every single time. And it's coming up, and it's going to be, for me, about there. As his eye line meets me, this position, I'm just like, wow. There's no awkwardness, there's no stiffness, there's no strangeness. It just looks really, really powerful and menacing. And I think it's a stunning, stunning piece. And it was funny because in pictures I wasn't impressed. Prototype levels I wasn't impressed. You can look over my comments on Facebook. I rip it in places.
You've gone more to the conclusion now rather than actually. We
Yeah,
were
but
following the base. Weren't we?
I just think to myself, it's one of them ones you just think, Jesus, it really has got a villainous power to it, like a Goliath statue. He just looks unbeatable. It looks like you'd turn up and go, fuck, I don't fancy fighting him. You know?
Whereas with the Bowen one, you're like...
With the Bowen one, you're like, let's dance!
There's a Guitar Hero or something, yeah. Again, so moving up, so we'll go through again. So you've got the metal parts here. I actually think that the metal parts on the shin, knee and forearm, I think they probably could be done a little better.
More battle damage.
I think the actual battle
highlights.
damage is a bit too... it's too similar everywhere. The depth of the
cuts are all the same.
Going
the same
There's
direction.
all the same direction. Whether
I think they're meant to
maybe
be
it's
lines,
Wolverine.
though. It looks like
Wolverine.
lines. Yeah, because that's 1, 2, and 3, and it's
But
lines.
the problem is like, okay, Wolverine slashed his shin, Wolverine slashed his other shin, slashed his knee, and then slashed.
Well, his suit's all right.
But
The armour's doing its job.
up on his shoulder pad. But I'm just saying, it's just like it's everywhere.
Yeah. It's the same cuts. Yeah.
The same cut, three.
Yeah.
Three.
He needs to learn to dodge.
Three. They're all. He's been slashed everywhere, and it's just a bit
intentional.
No,
It looks
a bit
intentional.
over the top. Like where maybe there, not that one. And it looks like they've done.
Oh yeah, so like spreading around that damage. I like that idea.
And
That's
then
a good
also
idea.
like maybe more kind of like scuffs or stuff like that. We can help you with that, Mike, if you want. Some scuffs here and there would be good as well.
A little bit more on the suit maybe, but I actually really like the fact that his battle damage is on his armor and the rest of him is super clean. I understand about the. I know what you're saying. You're saying that you should have slashes there, none on that side, slashes across there, maybe none on that side, or some different, maybe burn damage, some different type of damage. I get what you're talking about completely.
It's still the same, but I know what you're then saying is the fact that, well, if he's having a fight, it's showing that he's actually pretty good because he's fucking blocking everything.
Potentially,
There is
but
that
I
side
also
as well.
really like
But-
the suit being clean
Yeah.
versus the damage everywhere else. I love the fact that the suit's like, as an artistic value, when I'm looking at it, I like the fact that this is damaged and this is clean. It's that contrast between the two I really dig. Pouches look good, belt
Pouch is
looks
very
good, and
The suspenders as well, as Ryan.
have the feminist everything up, man.
Feminized.
But you just
Feminized.
make it all female, all weak. It's like, his suspenders and his
It's
G-string just looking off.
his skirt or
His skirt, yeah.
his nightie. Yeah. No, with his kind of suspender things, I mean, the part that come with the belt.
His
on the shoulder
braces,
pad.
they're braces.
They're actually done really well. You probably, if you're an idiot like me, you probably want to get a friend to kind of help you when you put it on.
It is easier with
just to hold the 4 in as you then put the shoulders. The 2 as you put the shoulder on, just so that you're not. Otherwise, it might be just a bit of a struggle.
The shoulder pads, the armoured shoulder pads at the top, basically the way that they come across are like 2 flaps, and they sit over the top of the 2 buckle parts of the braces, or Alex calls them suspenders. So really, if you are holding it, you don't want to knock it off or just scuff the top of it. So if someone pushes it in and you just rest them over the top, they sit very, very nicely. There's no fitting issues, there's no problem. But it does do exactly what I think Chris Bales mentioned with Cyclops and maybe with Colossus. It does make the piece look more 3D. It makes, because as he's turning, I can see through the braces and I can see his sculpt away from them. Which if you're sculpted into the body like that, it sort of embeds into the body, and it does at certain angles look a little bit amateurish or clumsy.
But there's certain things that's quite clever about this. I mean, obviously the engineering to get these 4 belt areas to be there, it's done really, really well.
Yeah.
But the other side of it that is actually really, really good is if you were to have those sculpted onto the body, you're then going to have wayward lines with the paint.
Exactly.
So this is a very smart way of doing it to make it look totally separate from the actual body, but it's done at a cost as well, because this to do properly is going to be tough to engineer, really tough to engineer. Something I have just noticed, which again is not really a big deal, it's quite minor, but I don't really like, there's a little sculpt issue which is just coming around now. On his left leg, is if you see this going behind his leg here, it kind of just disappears and it doesn't really go behind his knee. That I don't like there, but it's just sculpted in that way because obviously
the other leg has a big chip out of like the back of it, not a chip as in a damage, just a big wedge missing. So I think they maybe attempt to hide that.
Well, yeah, maybe. But
because if you look at the other leg, see that big flaring buckle part that comes out.
Yeah. Well, as I say, I mean that
it sort of disappears
like
into nothing.
Belt. It kind of
I know what you're saying. It should sort of gather behind the knee.
And it goes. I mean, if you see that one on his right leg is like this thick. And then this one goes to like almost like that.
Yeah.
Again, it's not a deal breaker. It's just
where it's gathered, where he's raised his leg, isn't he?
As I'm seeing it spinning around, and that's not the kind of material you
I think it would look so awkward around there if they tried to do that, man.
It would be, and it needs to be done like that. But I just think it needed to go on just a touch longer.
Maybe. You've got a good shout. I like the fact that on the belt, all the buckles and things are different shapes, and there's little canisters, and then his suspenders. Is that all right? Suspenders fine. His braces basically all clip in, and it looks seamless. It looks very, very good. I like it.
And then we go into, let's go into the arms then. With the arms, actually, I think I sent George a video when I was in Singapore, and Seng was actually painting these arms up, the prototype ones, and he actually let me sit down and sort of paint some of the veins. I fucked up big time. But, I don't even think he didn't even change it. He put it on the thing for the con. And like one of the arms had like a big fucking green vein coming down. And I was like, at the con, I was like, I painted that. And I was like, but no, watching him paint that was great. So just a memory.
Just to see that. On the video, actually on some of the unboxings and some of the pictures and some of the groups, I hated the shading. I hated the shading that they chose. I really wanted a more sort of icy blue like Bowen Designs. Seeing it in person, having it in my hand, and like I said, check out the unboxing because you get, I don't play any games, you get to see exactly how I feel. I've loved the shading. I think it's ominous and dark. Everything, the veins all painted really well, highlighted well. His skin has this iridescent shine on it, which I fucking love. The skin, it's really textured, his skin.
It's to represent, like, obviously the cold, and his skin's going to be a bit more...
Yeah, but his skin looks almost armoured. It looks thick, his skin.
Well, like leathery, yeah.
Yeah, it's got really well textured, his skin. Yeah. So good.
Because of his white, pale complexion, but then also the cold there. It shows both
Love
of
it, man.
He's also got like a
great muscle.
He's got like a lightsaber hilt there, isn't he?
And it's funny because he's got great definition. And actually what?
People kept on saying about it looks like he's got a lightsaber.
Maybe he does.
And I thought
Could be Luke's.
No, but I thought they were talking about the way that these looked.
Luke was in the snow.
Yeah, Hoff.
Yeah, he was in hot. Yeah, they are. But it's funny because I like the fact that XM sculpts as well, very like Sideshow where they use different artists. The build of him is bicep. He has quite thin biceps, right? So the way that he's sort of built, they're not very thick. So he doesn't do, basically, if he was doing training and stuff, he isn't doing any long arm bicep. He's not doing any hammer curls because he has no thickness into his arm. It's quite thin, his biceps. He's doing 21s all day long.
Mental note, I've got to add some hammer curls into my...
You've got to add hammer curls, exactly. So but it's original. It's not like, you know, every sculpt is the same. So for example, with Martin Canal's cable recent premium format, he has a massively thick
split
bicep,
as well, this side.
massively thick. And,
split as you
and
come
this,
around there.
the way it's done is very original. It doesn't look like something out of an anatomy book. It looks like something real, like someone that is built a certain way. Do you understand? It has an original feel to it, and I love that because when you're looking underneath there, he's got quite a long but not a very thick bicep, and I like that about it because there are people that are built this way.
Yeah.
That you see them in the gym training, and you're like, yeah, you need to stop doing this, and you need to stop doing that. So, I mean, the body on it is just really, really cool. I'm in love with this piece. I think it's a fantastic piece.
And then you come round. Let's move this on a bit. Been doing about 45 minutes now.
Well, that's what people wanted.
So you come round and you got the tendrils, obviously, the chromium tendrils, and
Excellent, they are clean, all aligned, super clean.
The way that they click in. I mean, you look at them first of all. There was one of them I was looking at, and I'm thinking that's going to be well wobbly. It's going to be really wobbly. It's going to not work. And you click it in, and with the gravity of it, it kind of like pushes it up. So it's done really, really well. Engineering's great again. There is a video of...
Love the hands, you know.
So there's a video
Love
of
the
Seng at the factory, and I believe I posted on Instagram and things like that. But what he does is he takes these when the first set were done, and he's like throwing them all over the floor, throwing them everywhere to show that how durable they are. Going like that with them, I wouldn't recommend it, but he's doing all this with them to show how strong
they are. They are. They're not heavy or anything. They don't feel rigid. They don't.
Also, there were custom pieces made where literally, I mean, the thing about these is the way that they come out of the forearm, and they're still so delicately, like they're still thin, but not to a way where
horrendous, isn't it?
They're thin, but not to a way where they don't look imposing, but in a way where they look functional. They look They look like, you know, they're going to go back in and go like, you know, there and whatever.
Retract.
Else. But there was a custom where it must have been like as big as his forearm. The actual thing was like
it looks fucking
big.
terrible. Big fat round cock coming out of his forearms, isn't it?
Yeah, you've been watching
Horrible
like
bloody
Japanese
thing.
Tendril porn.
Absolutely
Tentacle
awful.
porn.
Edward Cockhands, that character was horrendous.
Prosthetics
There's no
are
there's
well
no
good in that.
delicacy to it. No delicacy, no art. It just looks rank and shit.
Prosthetics are good in that.
Yeah, they're pretty good. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember them being bad. But yeah. Good.
But then you sort of get up and you've got the two portraits, which we haven't even shown you the other portrait, which we should do now.
No. We're going to go for this one first.
All right, fine.
Calm
but we need
down.
to change it. It's been on a lot, this one.
Calm down. Yeah, but we've got to talk about it. Calm down, man. So you got the Mickey Rourke head. No,
Mickey Walk?
he would have been a good.
He would have been a very good, yeah.
But he's
Whiplash, wouldn't he? He was Whiplash, so.
Whiplash, but he would have been a good one. It is.
Your legs gone numb, sweetheart.
So what we do, so with this one, obviously the open mouth. This
is my favourite portrait.
Yeah, I was going to say this is my favourite. I like the way the hair flows in this.
Much more delicate.
I love the open mouth. I love the teeth, the way they're done. Because one of the problems is a lot of the sort of companies out there, they make the teeth too perfect. They make it look like everyone has a dental plan. They make it look like, you know, everyone's got had their teeth whitened before they go into battle. And I think that this one actually is really good. Really, really well done. Then band across the head with the Omega symbol. Yeah, beautiful. And also with the shading, George was going to say that.
Yeah, because in photographs it does look like he's been working on someone's car. So many times it looks like he's a mechanic or something, but you know, the actual shading is a lot more delicate in person than it appeared on some of the pictures. I feel that this one is still heavier than the ponytail portrait, but not to the point where it's like, oh my god, it's horrendous. I just think it's a little heavier because probably there's more bunching, more scrunching in that part of his head. But this is my favourite portrait, and I didn't expect it to be, because it's not the classic. You expect the ponytail to really be the answer, but I really like this one personally. So when you are
I think when an open mouth
is done well.
Yeah,
there's no beating it.
There's no beating. I think that the
you can smile and grimace all you want, whatever, but an open mouth done well.
The shiner gloss inside the mouth and
grotty teeth, man, rank. You just look. You wouldn't want to get a bit off him, that's for sure.
Do you want to change your head over now?
Yeah, turn it. So, a piece of advice. Turn that off for me, please, bro. A piece of advice.
Don't eat yellow snow.
Don't never eat yellow slow. No. So what you want to do when you're taking this head off, because this is actually like the distance between this sort of strand of hair and this chromium tendril thing, it's around about maybe half a centimetre. It's very, very close. So what you probably want to do is you want to remove this and then take the head off I'm being careful, even though I don't need to be. But that's not my piece, so I can just throw this across the room. But then you take the head off that way. I'll pass it to my
Beautiful assistant, and then you can get this one on. Darker, actually. Yeah.
Yeah. It's a little bit darker because it's not as scrunched, and then this is very well magnetized, actually, the ponytail. So put it in, you see it's not going anywhere.
All the gloss at the back of his throat as well.
And then you can put this in. Like I said before on the unboxing, there's an angled peg on here to stop the gravity taking it away from the peg, which is just really clever. And then this lines up perfectly there. And then again, as it's in, you can see, we'll turn it back again.
So just going back to the mouth. So, I love the way they've done the tongue different to the back, the top of the roof of the mouth is all glossy, shiny. And then
it's very clever. It's very, very nice. I love it. Perfect position of the canines as well. There's none of this stupid teeth that don't make any sense. It's really nice.
I love it. That's why I gave it to you. That's
the
only reason I said
son
that.
Son of a bitch. I just don't like it when it's not mine.
All right. So this one is with the ponytail. There's been a few complaints about the hair obstructing the view of the face. So with this, I guess you're going to need to have the kind of sweet spot of displaying it.
Every statue has a sweet spot anyway. You don't have a statue. Some people have them spinning around, but I don't believe that there's many pieces. I said this to Johnny, I think we were talking with Andy as well, and I can't think of many where I spin it and I like every angle. There's angles on things I just don't like.
I like it, like, for example, I do really like the Comic Cat Spider-Man, and I do love the way that the back of the piece has detailing on it.
Yeah, of course, it's a good shot. You had to go shit on my cornflakes there, didn't you?
Well,
that point's now moot. Thank you very much for that.
Well, even on
come again next week. Try twice.
Doom on Throne, the throne at the
throne
back.
pieces probably more so than others.
Because Magneto probably not as much.
Magneto's great from behind.
Really?
Oh yeah. It's got all that Trask stuff and all the paints. It's quite nice.
Trask Industries.
Trask Industries, yeah. It's nice. Well, you've seen it, brother. I've not seen it in a long time. But yeah, good shouts.
Shogun.
They're I find that these portraits are really different, and I love that. I actually do agree with Johnny that because of the position of this tendril, which is very close to the face, it means that your angle, your display angle is limited. Your space is limited. You wouldn't want it from there because the hair's over his face. You wouldn't want it from this position. Yeah, and you wouldn't want it the other way around either because the tendril blocks the face from that angle. So you want it head on. Otherwise, it's not clear.
Brian, Barbara, and Ajami, they used the hairdryer just to kind of move it away a little bit.
What did they move?
They said they moved some of the hair. I don't know which part.
Really?
But yeah.
It's quite big, that.
I don't know whether they were talking about that bit.
Maybe them bits. Maybe, potentially.
Yeah.
You could probably do that. You could warm it. This hair is a little bit clumpy around the back, but like I say, compared to this other portrait, really fine, lovely lines in this one.
Isn't that to kind of help hold it on as well, or not?
Yeah, probably. It's probably to do with the fact that it's sort of like,
We're just going to detail.
Anchored. No. We're going to measure it, so maybe.
I think it would.
You don't think it's too wide?
I don't know.
Go on, do that again. Right, let's go.
Paint me like you paint those French girls.
French girls. That's it. Turn this off. I don't like it moving when I do this. All right, so let's get on to measurements. So
stop the fucking old man.
Top. So we have to go from the top of the tendril to the bottom. So apparently, let's have a look here. That is around just a shade under 27 inches. So in centimeters is it's around 68 in centimeters. Now, like I'm saying, that is your display angle. So that is the widest point to this. So it is. Nah, you're off your tits, man. I don't think so.
No.
If you do it like that, maybe that way, maybe. Oh, see, that's even close.
This is out there, though.
Yeah, but look, that's that. Even if in the narrowest position that I can probably get it, I would say that's around 17 inches wide.
That's close.
So close.
Because I'm pretty sure Green Goblin is 17.
He is, and it does go in.
And it does go in.
But he's like in the corner like that.
He's like that in the wall, yeah.
Let me out! If you're talking about depth, I would say you're going from the back to the front there. So, Alex, anything behind me that I can't see?
That's about there, yeah.
All right, so not deep. Around about 11 and a half inches max. That's 38. No, it's not 28. 28, yeah, about 28. So it's not deep.
Well, I missed her, you know. I missed the old scales.
Old Sally.
Yeah.
Well, no, I have to try and... Are you going to make me move this, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm in control of the scales. So,
Yeah, of course you are.
I got to monitor them because the cable's loose to the back.
Now, I'm trying to understand. The base doesn't come apart, so there's no stress there. I just have to try and lift it from... This is where... You, close your eyes, Mike. Close your eyes, Mike. It's well heavy, man. It's just so heavy. This comes off, doesn't it? This
I think
comes
the
up.
rubber feet as well are really strong as well.
It's just like... Whew.
Yeah, you're going to knock the pull tray over.
No. Calm down, man. All of you women, Jesus.
It's right on the edge, man.
Yes, there you go. There you go. What about this? Does this come off? Yeah, it does. Right there. All right, here we go. Ready? Here we go. Hands up. Oh. About weight distribution.
Dude, man, your face is starting to crash.
Shut up, don't speak. Don't speak. Wait, help me down there. Finger. There you go. Oh.
Okay.
16, 17.
No, it's 12.
Shut up, really?
75 kilos.
Well, that really overstated it,
Which
doesn't
is
it?
about 28 pounds.
Feels really heavy.
Yeah.
I know. You try and lift it. Come over here, you try and lift it. I'm telling you,
All right.
12, really? Feels well heavy compared to that. I'm not moving it back either. I'm going to have to take
just-
pictures of it on that.
No.
I'm not moving it back. You have to do two-man job. Two-man lift, I'm not doing that again.
All right. So, yeah, I mean, overall,
Outstanding. I'm gutted I missed it. I really, I should have got it. It was a mistake.
Mike can't get us in his car anyway, can he?
Nah, not really.
Nah,
not with
he
me
ain't
in
getting in
it.
his car. Nah.
Mike, what do you think, since it's yours?
Oh, fuck.
You very happy? Yeah. Glad you didn't cancel. Andy?
Good for me.
Just good?
We can't hear them, by the way.
Oh, good.
Yeah. So Andy said good. Mike said loved it.
Banging.
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 Banging?
Banging. All right, guys, do the usual. Thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, share. Click on the bell to become part of our notification squad. Check us out on Instagram, Radd_Titan. And definitely go on to Facebook, type in Radd Titan, and you'll be able to find our main group and our 2 sales groups. So, yeah, definitely check them out.
Mad love. Peace.
Mad love. Peace out.
You don't need enemies with friends like that, do you?
We're recording. Can you turn that out a bit? I think Andy's moved it.
Out.
So like towards me, like that way. Sorry. No, the other way. Like towards me. Yeah. Like that. Yeah.
What does towards mean, you fucking nugget? You?
I
mean,
towards me.
towards us, he's turning it away. Towards me, please.
All right, let's go. Come on.
Okay.